Hello everybody, it's Stephen here for the Idiot Quilter and welcome to my weekly episode. It's episode number 293 for January the 7th, 2025, and Happy New Year to everybody. As you know, it's been a couple of weeks since I last did a video. Last time I did an Idiot Quilter video, and yeah, lots to tell you about the retreat and things like that. And actually I have a couple of special little videos I'm going to insert in today's episode for you to enjoy. But before we get to that, let's look at what I did manage to accomplish when I was at the Stephanie Stitches We Sew Together retreat in Dahlonega, Georgia. And yeah, here it is. This you may find familiar because if you bought the Missouri Star Quilt Christmas Countdown box, this pattern was included in the box. And I'm a sucker for little houses, as you well know. And yeah, I enjoyed putting this together, and I put it together. This is just the top. I've got to get it on Lucy and get it quilted. But it was a lot of fun to do. And it's really a great scrap buster as well. Now, I didn't quite follow their suggestion for some of the color scheme in the center part where you see the little white flowers and that. That's kind of a little Christmassy type fabric, although it's not really pronounced strongly as a Christmas fabric. So I used that. And like I said, the rest of it was all made up pretty much of scraps. Excuse me. So it was a lot of fun to put together, and yeah, as I said, I've got to get it quilted, but I had a little problem with this, and it was a mystery. So we're at the retreat. I had previously put all the pieces together and clipped them that would make one house. So I had the piece for the backing, the piece for the walls, the door, and the roof. And I thought I was being very efficient. And excuse me for just one moment. Okay, I'm back. Had a little frog in my throat I had to clear out. I think I start my recordings a little too early in the morning. My voice hasn't really awakened yet. Okay, as I was saying, I had a little mystery about this. So, there were 31 houses and I believe 9 trees for this. And so I started laying it out after I got the houses and everything made and the trees. I started laying it out on the design wall. And yep, all the houses were there, and there was 31. And I'm thinking, that seems like an odd number. So I double checked the pattern. Yep, the pattern said 31. I had 31. I even had Stephanie count my houses. And she says, yeah, it's 31. But with the trees, it worked out evenly. Okay, that wasn't the mystery. What the mystery was, when I was assembling the rows, I was missing a house. I get down the last row and realize, wait, how come I'm missing a house? I shouldn't be missing a house. So once again, I went to the diagram in the pattern for the house layout and looked through it very carefully, row by row. I had everything there with the exception of one house. So then I got thinking, well, what did I pin two of the houses together on the design wall? So I went through all of the houses individually. Nope, I had not done that. So it was a real mystery. So then I thought, okay, maybe one fell on the floor. I mean, when you're at a retreat, your space is limited. And, you know, as quilters, we do tend to be a little bit on the messy side. So I started looking on the floor to see if it fell on the floor. Couldn't find it. Started looking underneath all my stuff, under my sewing machine, under other fabrics, things like that. Nope. Looked in the garbage cans. Nope. Looked over at Walter and said, have you got my house? He said, no, I don't believe him. I'm checking through his stuff. Only because he wouldn't steal it. It was just that it could have got mixed up with his stuff because, as I said, our space was limited. And, you know, we kind of encroach upon each other's areas. So I'm thinking, okay, did I accidentally, absent-mindedly, because I do things like this. I just said do. I do things like this. And I started checking through my other kits that I had put together. No, nothing. I yanked everything out of my sewing bag. Nothing. It was a complete mystery to me. So I thought, well, I'm going to have to make one more. They don't take that long. However, I didn't have enough fabric to make another little house. And so I'm thinking, crap. I really want to get the top done while I was at the retreat, and this is holding me back. So then had a thought. I went, wait, I made a prototype little house. When I first started this pattern and figuring out what fabrics I was going to use in the houses at home, I had put one little house together and I set it aside. So I went looking in my bag of scrap, well, the scrap pieces from this quilt. None of those were big enough to make another house. Yep, there was the prototype. So I used it instead because there was nothing wrong with it. I just didn't think to use it when I was making all the little house kits. So problem solved. But we're thinking, did somebody accidentally pick up one of my little houses for some reason and they have it or got mixed up with their stuff? But the weird thing was, Stephanie said she was missing a block, and one of the other ladies said she was missing a piece or something too, as well. So we're thinking, okay, what's going on? Now, would somebody be pulling a trick on us? Well, I wouldn't think that they would carry on with the trick because everybody knew I was looking for this house. Okay. Do we have a ghost? What's going on here? When there's three of us with a similar problem, what's going on? Anyways, I got all the rows assembled with using the prototype little house, and I got them all sewed up, as you've seen here, and so I was very happy with it. So on the day we're starting to pack up our stuff to get ready to go home, Lydia, and many of you will know who I mean by Lydia, Lydia said, "Is this your house?" Her sewing bag was right underneath the sewing or the design wall. And design wall, things weren't sticking to it too well. So what happened was, on the bottom row of houses, one of my houses came loose, fell in her bag, nobody knew. So I have an extra house, which I could use as a label, like as if I label my quilts. I don't, I know, don't hate me for that. But I could use it for that. So mystery solved. But I'm telling you, when you work on this many little houses, missing a house at the end of your project really gets your goat. So that was the mystery around this, and I'm very happy with it. And yeah, I think it's great. It's not very big. It's only 39 inches by 39 inches. So, you know, it's a wall hanger kind of a thing. And I may have to find a place to hang it. And I think I know where. So we'll see. It means I have to retire from one of my walls, another thing. But it's been up there a long time, so maybe time for a change. So yeah, that was my mystery solved. So let me just go back here. Okay, have a little sip of coffee. So things that are coming up. Well, we're back to our usual schedule on Wednesdays with Sewing with Stephanie and Stephen. Starts at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. All are welcome. Link for it is in the show notes below. It is a Zoom. If you're new here to the channel, we have one of these every Wednesday. Stephanie of Stephanie Stitches and myself host it. As I said, it is a Zoom. We do not record it. It doesn't go up on YouTube. It's just a lot of fun. We get together, we get working on our projects, and we talk about everything under the sun. So I hope you can join us, and we're a friendly group, so don't have to worry about that. If you've never really taken part in something like this before, now's the time to do it. New Year's resolution: join an online sewing day. Yeah. Okay, speaking of online sewing days, Pop-Up Sew Day will probably be Saturday, January the 18th. Why do I say probably? Well, when I say probably, it means it probably is going to be. I don't like to leave you hanging. However, I do reserve the right to finalize my mind. That kind of thing. It's a man's prerogative. Yes. But right now, pencil it into your calendar if you're interested. January the 18th, Saturday, January 18th. It is a Zoom as well. I will be putting the Zoom link in the show notes for all my videos on the week of January 13th to 17th. So basically next week. Wait. 13, 17, 18. Yeah, next week. Jeez. Time flies when you're having fun, eh? Yeah, I'm getting, my days are still mixed up. You know how it is after Christmas holidays and everything. You don't know what day it is. Well, takes a little time to get back into the routine of things, right? But anyways, that'll be on January the 18th. Have I said that enough times? January the 18th. And doors open, the virtual doors open at 8 a.m. Come and go as you please. It's a very relaxed kind of day. If you can't spend the whole day with us, that is okay. Come for as much time as you wish to be there for, and that'll work out fine. Okay, So Chatty. We did a whole thing on So Chatty last week of showing all the stuff we brought home from Dahlonega, and it was quite the haul. It included what Walter and I both purchased at Common Threads, the quilt store in the area. Nice store, great selection, good prices. And also all the things that people gave everybody else and us. Like, it was just it was best Christmas day ever kind of thing, right? So a lot of things that we went through all of those on So Chatty. So if you're interested in seeing that haul, then please go to So Chatty from last week and you will see it. And what else is happening this week? Well, for me, I'm preparing for 2 guild presentations that I am doing. 2 different guilds, same presentation. I'm still in awe that they actually asked me to be a presenter at their guild meetings. This has never happened to me before. I suspect that both guilds, were having trouble finding people, because it's a tough job. Whoever gets assigned that job in a guild, locating speakers that they think might be of interest. So I don't know, maybe I'm filler. That's okay. It's free. I'm not charging them. They want to know what my fee was. And I said, I'll just do it for free. Because, well, there's a couple of reasons for that, doing it free. One, I have no idea what I would charge. I am not a big name, so you're not going to get big name prices as if a guild could afford big names. And that's the second reason. Guilds run on a very tight budget. I know. I used to be on the executive of the guild that I belonged to a few years ago. And yeah, money is tight. So, I don't need to charge for me to give a talk. I'm just, the payment I'm getting is the thrill that people want me to speak at their guild. So yeah, that's why I said, no, I'll do it for nothing. It is okay. The other thing too is if my speech or if my presentation sucks, it didn't cost them anything. They won't be able to ask for their money back. So yeah. And speaking of that, I am a little nervous about this. It's not that I'm nervous about speaking in front of people. I mean, my word, I did it every day of my working life, with kids and everything like that as a teacher, but at, presentations for teachers, staff meetings, all committee meetings, all kinds of things like that. So speaking to a large audience or even a small audience does not bother me one way. What bothers me is I want to make sure that what I'm talking to these guild members about is something they're going to find interesting and useful. I don't want them to go away and go, well, that was a waste of time. So I have been working on the presentation. In fact, I pretty much have the presentation finalized now. And I just want to do a couple of little tweaks. And my first presentation is at the end of this month. And then the second one's at the beginning of March. So I'll let you know how it goes. Keep your fingers crossed for me. Something in my eye. Yeah, I know it's my finger. Okay. All right. So let's talk about Georgia. All right. Now, Walter and I did an extensive discussion about our experiences at the Stephanie's retreat in Dahlonega between Christmas and New Year's. And we had a great time. Great bunch of people we were there with. Many of them we knew, although we had never met physically, but through Zoom, through the pop-up So days, through my channel and things like that, we knew of them. There were a few new faces there as well, but it was great. We had a lot of fun. Went out for a lot of lunches and ate too much. There goes that diet. And yeah, it was great. However, it was expensive. Okay, and if you saw Stephen and Walter live, we talked about that as well. It's expensive mainly because of what us as Canadians have to pay in American, in the exchange rate. And I had one person who, okay, you know I have a bug about this. People don't understand exchange rates for some reason. And because some people hear the word dollar, they think of American dollar is the same as a Canadian dollar because of the word dollar. It is not. Right now, we're taking a major hit. If we want to buy anything American in American dollars, we have to add 40 to 45%, almost 50% actually, currently, to that cost. Because we have to pay in Canadian dollars. Somebody said, well, why don't you just pay in American dollars? It doesn't work that way. No, we could pay in American dollars, in physical American dollars, but we have to buy the American dollars here in Canada, exchange it, and that would still cost us to do that. I don't know how other ways to explain it. So if you're confused, just know this. Be thankful you're an American and not a Canadian right now in terms of money. There's a lot of other reasons why you shouldn't be too happy about being an American right now, but we won't get into that. So yeah, every dollar we spent, it cost us $1, for sake of argument, $1.50. So that made everything quite expensive. So although we saw fabric that was a lot less, well, not a lot, but less than what we pay here, when we added the 50% on top of that, it became very expensive, and everything was that way. Food's that way, accommodations that way, gas is that way, all of that stuff. So we talked about that and the reason why we're not planning to go next year, unfortunately. We just can't afford it. But for you, I have put together a little highlights of the time we were down there, montage, if you wish, of the whole retreat while we were there. So I am going to insert that little montage for you in here right now. So it's 7:41 Christmas morning, and we're getting ready to load up the car. And this is all we're putting in it. Oh, I don't think so. That would be nice if it was. But this is the pile, the mountain that we are taking. Walter is just getting a few things ready. I don't know, he's got a water bucket now. He's going down to water the grow light things.
Yeah, well, they're sucking up water like crazy.
Okay, they're little suckers. But this is the mountain we have to get into the car. When I said there isn't an inch of free space, I wasn't kidding. So maybe I'll show you after we get the car loaded what that looks about. But we're excited, and we're going to get on the road shortly. Okay, we got it all in, but there isn't an inch to be had. The back seat is down flat. There's stuff under it, on top of it, everywhere. Yeah, we are fully loaded. God help us if they stop us at the border and want to see what's in the bags. Because, you know, they do. They yank it all out and trying to get it back in. This is like a Tetris game. So, are we ready to go, Walter?
Yes.
Because we are now about 7 minutes behind schedule. Oh God, whatever.
I'll make it up. I'll speed it. I'll speed a little faster.
Yeah, I don't think so. Yeah. Okay, we're going. Okay, so we have made it to the Ambassador Bridge in Windsor, Detroit. We're crossing over it, and once we get across this, then we go through customs, and we're in the United States, which is the first little leg of today's journey. Then from there, we're about 2 hours away from our first stop in Ohio. So we are here in Michigan State at the moment. We just got across the Ambassador Bridge. We only waited about 35-40 minutes to get across. We picked the slow line. That guy was being very thorough with everybody. And then they had a shift change, and the guy we got seemed to be somewhat surprised when he said, "What's our reason for coming here?" And we said, "We're going to a quilting retreat." And the guy looked at us like, "Quilts? What's that?" And Walter said, "Sewing." And he goes, "And what are you going to do when you're there?" We said, "Sew." And he just sort of looked at us and said, "Okay, move on." And so we did. And yeah, so we're on the road now going towards Ohio to Findlay, Ohio. That's where we're spending our first night. So we're about an hour and a half away from that. Maybe a little less. 1 hour it says actually on the thing. So more later. So it's the second morning of our trip down to Dahlonega for the retreat, and we stayed the night here at Drury Inn, and this is in Findlay, Ohio. And we had stayed here once before years ago, and I'm happy to say it's still just as good as it was then. The rooms are comfortable, nice, clean, comfortable. The bathroom is huge, lots of shelf space. If you've seen some of my travel videos before, you will know that that's important to me in a bathroom. They had a dinner buffet that was free for guests staying here last night, and it included up to 3 alcoholic beverages as well. So we met Stephanie here. She spent the night in this hotel too, not in our room. Okay, she had her own room. But we went down, we had dinner. The dinner selection was okay. It wasn't a lot of different variety, but it was enough, and it was free, and so were the drinks. Did I mention the drinks were free? Yeah, the drinks were free. And we caught up with Stephanie, and we had brought a little bit of wine with us as well, of course. So we came up here to the room after we'd had dinner and had another little glass of wine, or maybe 2, or maybe 3. And Stephanie, she's getting up real early this morning. It's 7 o'clock right now. She's probably already up and on the road because she is driving all the way from here, Findlay, Ohio, to Knoxville. So yeah, it's a long drive for her. It's going to be a long day. We, on the other hand, are only driving to Lexington, which is about 3 hours away, and we are going to check out a Buc-ee's as well. We've heard all about these Buc-ee's, but have never been to one. So there's one about 38 minutes away from where we're staying in Lexington. So we're going to go there and explore it, and I hope to get some video when I'm there for you as well. So while we were here, we had a very special package came with Stephanie for us, not from Stephanie, from someone else. Let me grab that and show you what was in it. So you probably all remember Julie, of course. Julie comes on our Stephanie and Stephen sewing days all the time, and pop-up sew days and everything, and a really wonderful friend. And she sent us, by way of Stephanie, this lovely box, which has fabric in it from GE Designs. And these two on the bottom, the blues and the teals, which are both absolutely gorgeous, those are 3-yard cuts of 108-inch fabric, so backing fabric. So, and I think they're batiks, and they're just beautiful. This one anyway is a batik. I'm not sure if this one is or not. And I don't want to take them out of the package because they're nicely wrapped up. And these two as well, and there's 3 yards of each of these. This canvas whitewash, it's called, and canvas pebbles. So this was for both Walter and I. So we may have to fight each other over who gets what. Nah, we won't do that. I'm taking it all. No, not really. Yeah, really. No, not really. Whatever. But that is so nice of Julie. It was such a lovely surprise. And yeah, what can I say? Just way too generous. But that's the way Julie is. She is one of the nicest people I have ever met, and very, very generous. So that was a nice surprise. So yeah, once Walter gets out of the shower, he's around the corner. Want to do a quickie? No, I won't do that. He wouldn't be happy. You wouldn't be either. We're going down for brekkie here in the hotel, and then we'll pack up and head out on the second day of our journey to the retreat. So day 2 of our journey to Dahlonega, Georgia, and you can see it's raining. Yeah, well, better than snow, I guess. It's raining quite hard, actually. We are on our way to Lexington, but before we go to the hotel in Lexington, which is about 3 hours or almost 4 hours away, we're going to Buc-ee's. Yes, we are. We're going to Buc-ee's. Now, if you don't know what a Buc-ee's is, go on YouTube, look for Buc-ee's, Buck-ees, and you will see many videos that have been made about it. And basically, it is a huge, huge gas station, like with 100 pumps, and then a huge store that's they sell everything apparently. So yeah, I will try to do some video when we're in Buc-ee's as well, so you can see it from our perspective. But that's what's on the menu today, and then we carry on tomorrow. Okay, we're going to Buc-ee's. See, those are all gas pumps.
Boulevard. Then take the first right onto Buc-ee's Boulevard.
And they are lined up to get into this place for gas. So we'll see what we see. Okay, we are in Buc-ee's, and this place is a zoo today. I didn't think about the fact that there's the holidays happening here. So I don't know how much video I'm going to take because it's difficult to take video and navigate. But this gives you a sense of what this place is really like. What's that? Oh, you can get Buc-ee's nuts. And they're famous barbecue.
I just do.
Okay, I think you have a sense of it because it's almost impossible to take video in here right now. So I'm just going to shut it off. Okay, here's some more footage. Go out this way?
Oh yeah.
I suggest if you're going to come here, you come here when there isn't holidays. I have a feeling it's probably always busy, but not probably like this. We're out. Okay, this place has over 100 pumps, I think. And you can see the line goes down there and goes all the way down there. And it's just a zoo. It may take us a while to get out of here. And one thing I forgot to take a picture of is right here. The front doors. The symbol. There it is, Buc-ee's. So that was Buc-ee's, and we probably win the award for the quickest amount of time ever spent in a Buc-ee's. We went in, we went to the bathroom, we came out, we got out. So yeah, actually the length of the video that you just saw was pretty much minus the bathroom time. The length of time we were in there is just a zoo. And I don't think there's anything of all that wonderful interest. It's the novelty of the place. Now, a lot of people were getting these barbecued sandwiches there. They did look good and that kind of thing, but heaven forbid, there's no place to sit down and eat that I could see. And I mean, there wouldn't have been any seats even if there was. I saw people hanging out by the garbage cans out front, eating their sandwiches on, you know, using a garbage can like a table. Okay, so that might not be all completely hygienic, but whatever. But now we're going to visit one of my subscribers. Many of you will know Pat. If you come to the Stephanie and Steven So Days on Wednesdays, Pat is usually there as well. And Pat only lives about 10 minutes or so away from Buc-ee's. And so that's where we're headed now. We've already contacted her to let her know we were dropping by if she was going to be home. And yeah, so it's going to be really nice to, I can't spend a lot of time, maybe an hour or so, but visiting with Pat. Unless you have a picture, we don't want to see it. Yeah. So here we go. We're just getting started today, and Lydia came in from Ottawa, and she brought all kinds of Canadian treats in here, which the Americans will sniff and walk away from. We know, but because, you know, we've done this before, but this is the best one. That one they may not walk away from.
It's like a Bailey's, maple flavored Bailey's. Yeah, it's pretty good. And my Bostonian friends say these are rockets, but we know them to be Smarties. So in here there's a bag of
call
rockets to show the
Smarties.
Americans really what a rocket is. Somewhere in here.
Oh, did you find some rockets? I didn't think to get some rockets.
Or maybe I gifted it by accident to my kiddos. That could be it too. But there's Aero bars. right?
Oh yeah.
They don't have airbrushes, I don't think.
Is that the mint one?
No, this is a plain one.
Okay,
I
because
thought
I
it'd be
think they
more
have the
palatable.
plain one, but we brought the mint ones because I don't think they had the mint ones, but I'm not sure.
And then the mini eggs, you gotta do mini eggs.
Oh yes, mini eggs. I love mini eggs.
And coffee crisp.
Yeah.
We
I
brought
don't think you
coffee
have
crisp.
an
No,
American
they don't have
equivalent.
coffee crisp.
They don't have coffee crisp.
The caramel. Oh, Mars bars? Do you guys have Mars bars?
Yeah,
I think they have Mars bars,
Well, they're something
but
you know.
they don't have caramel.
We have something called a Mars bar. It may or may not be the same thing because
Oh.
I do know that there's a few candy bars that have different names in different countries.
Yeah.
But I think the Mars are the same. here as that.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
apparently, I got the Cadbury plain. I did see it at Dollar General. That's a whole other conversation.
Did you buy a bra for $11?
Already. Was it made this century in Durham?
Yeah.
It was interesting. But apparently the recipe is different in the States.
It is.
For
Yeah, it
Cadbury
is.
than it is in Canada and in the UK.
Yeah.
And it's different in
it's different
Australia,
in
too.
Australia, too.
Yeah.
So, you know, I could go back to Dollar General and pick up an American one, and then we could have a taste testing, kind of like
Yeah,
some
taste-
Pepsi or Coke. Which one's better?
Yeah, which better?
Pepsi. Oh yes.
And we were not gonna not play, so I went to Walmart and bought every pack that they had.
Okay, we're about to play a really dirty game called Cards Against Humanity. So if you come to one of these retreats, be prepared for this. Some of you may know, but here's the whole bunch. Everybody's there. We got ones down there. We have everybody at
No,
the
we're missing
table.
somebody.
Who are we missing?
The one who went to bed.
Deb went to bed. Deb went to bed.
Oh, Deb went to bed.
She's still
Okay.
traumatizing.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. Australia. Deb's from Australia. So this is everybody. So you see, we're going to have a good time. So we're here at the Common Thread. This is the quilt store we came to last year when we came to Stephanie's retreat. And a bunch of them in there are shopping some more. I did buy a few things and I will show them later on in the video or on Idiot Quilt or wherever I post this up, what I bought. I did not spend as much money as I did last year. I was more select about what I wanted. But I got I think some pretty good finds. They gave us a discount as well on it. But you know, prices right now, and I know a lot of people don't understand exchange rates. Someone said to me, well, why don't you, it's American, why don't you just pay in American money? And the thing is, it doesn't make any difference. We could have American cash, but we would have had to pay the exchange rate on the American cash that we would have taken out. And we pay the exchange rate on the credit card as well. So basically, whatever price we saw in here, we added about 40% to that, and that gave us our Canadian price, roughly. I won't really know until I start checking out my credit card bill what it actually translates into, but it's a lot more. But if you're down here in Dahlonega and you want a really good selection of fabrics and at good American prices, if you're an American, yeah, not a problem, then this place has a lot to, to choose from with it. Okay, everybody, this is the view from the lodge, and you can see the mountains in the distance, the Appalachians. And the sun is very bright here right now. It's 15 degrees C. It's very nice out. We're not in shorts, but we're just wearing a light sweater. Very, very pleasant day today. But in another couple of days, we'll be on the road back to the frozen north. So I guess we should enjoy this nice weather now.
I think the person, I don't know if they have heard.
I don't think they heard.
Yeah.
Yo, people in the kitchen!
Russ,
We have show and tell.
Show and tell.
That's Walter's.
Oh, nice. Smile, Walter. Yeah, smile. Walter, look down here and smile. Smile. There you go.
And for those of you that are Canadian, you will recognize that quilt as the CBC
Yeah.
The Canadian Broadcasting.
Corporation.
Oh.
It's actually African. The fabrics are African fabrics.
So, Walter, what number of coat was this? 3?
3.
Nice. Wait, one more. Wait.
Wait, Walter.
One more. Thank you.
And then you don't have room for it in your car, just.
Yeah. Not many of us can help him
Fabric
out.
y'all both
Yeah.
today? Yeah. Very nice.
Wow, Wow, the quilting's
Beautiful.
great too.
And that's African fabric?
Yeah.
It's more tame than I thought it'd be. I thought it was.
You thought it'd be like
African-
lions
Some
and
other places that I see it, it's
Yeah.
very.
loud.
Oh, I like the
Yeah.
back. It's very nice.
Yeah, that looks nice. Good.
Holding your quilt.
Great job.
No, they're not too wide. Thank you, then.
Yep, everybody's got it. Jump.
Is the Downton Tabby quilt.
Ah.
And
Oh, that's neat.
Love it.
I didn't know you got a bed ready. That's beautiful.
And the back has OG Tula.
Ooh. Ooh.
That was the one I was hanging in the quilt shop, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
This is the shop sample I made.
Yeah.
This one was in the East Cobb Quilt Show.
I saw it. Yeah, I went, nice.
It's called New England Summer Lovin'.
I know that line. Is that
Yeah.
Nantucket? Yeah.
Yes, Nantucket Summer.
Yeah. It is. Very great.
And then this one's from the same fabric designer that I was talking to Steph about earlier.
Very nice.
Oh yeah, that one's my favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did you go back?
It's a ribbon
star.
star.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
This one won second place at the Cottontail
Beautiful.
Sports Party that year.
Oh.
By one vote.
Hey, that counts.
It doesn't matter how you won, you won.
No, I was second place by one vote.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, if I had gotten one more vote, I would tie for first.
Oh, okay.
Well, second's better than no place.
Exactly.
Okay. And so this is, you said this is your very first?
Quilt top, completed
Ah.
quilt top, yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Bravo.
Looks good. That
And
looks
I
really
helped,
good.
Like, do some of the organization of the blocks last night.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really neat. So, well, you should be proud.
Are you hooked to your next one?
Huh? Oh, I've got another one. I hope maybe I can get some more done with it.
Looks.
Okay, now later on in today's episode, I have another special video for you, and I'll talk about that in a few minutes. But first, let's talk about the Subscribers Quilt of the Week. And this is from Sherry Jones. We have seen some of her beautiful creations before. She has sent me many pictures actually before, and thank you for doing that, Sherry, because right now, this is the last one I have. I do not have any more at the moment of when I'm recording this to show you. So if you would like me to feature one of your creations, and it doesn't have to be a quilt. It could be anything that you have created. I'll take anything. No, I mean, yeah, I will. Anything that's creative. So it can be a quilt. It could be a garment. It could be a bag. It could be some machine embroidery. It could even be some artwork. Maybe you are also not just a quilter, but an artist, a paper crafter, that kind of thing. All I ask is you send me one picture only, please, and a little tiny blurb about it, less than 50 words, and I will be very happy to feature it here on the Idiot Quilter. So here's Sherry Jones's beautiful creation. This week's subscriber's quilt comes from Sherry Jones, and we've seen many of her lovely creations before, and here's another one. She says, this is the one that I was working on during your last Saturday's sit and sew day a couple of weeks ago. I finished it just in time for Christmas. I received all of the different fabrics in a Facebook 5-inch Christmas square swap. I made over 150 little scrappy house blocks from the fabrics I received. I had enough to make my daughter-in-law one as well. I just love how the negative space and the addition of a few trees show off my cute little neighborhood. Hope you like it, and thank you for hosting Sew Days. They're so much fun. Okay, Sherry, this is really cute. I am a real sucker for little houses. In fact, as you know, I've already just finished the top for one that came in the Missouri Star Quilt Christmas box. And this one is really quite cute. Definitely a great scrap buster here as well. And I like the fact that your trees, although they're made with Christmas fabrics, or it looks like Christmas fabrics, they're not all green. You've mixed in some red ones as well. You're right about the negative space, and it really does help you to do some really nice looking quilting in amongst here too. And by looking at this picture, it looks like you did a series of swirls that might suggest snow drifting up amongst the houses, or the houses in a snowstorm. Either way, this is a beautiful Christmas quilt, and you should be very proud of it, because I think it's absolutely delightful. So speaking of quilt shows, Sean, the guy who sews, you're probably familiar with him. If not, you should check out his YouTube channel, and there's a link to it in my show notes below. He, the last year or two, has put together at the end of the year a show of subscribers or content creators' quilts. And so he reached out to content creators this year and asked us to send a little video clip showing one of our favorite quilts. And there were 30 of us altogether. So this is really great private little, kind of like having your own quilt show in your living room or wherever you watch YouTube. So get a cup of coffee and enjoy this. But here's what I'm talking about in a little more detail. This week's YouTube channel of the week comes from the guy who sews, and I have talked about the guy who sews. He's a friend of mine, Sean, many times on my channel, but he had a very special presentation on New Year's Eve where he featured 30 creators, YouTube creators, showing their favorite quilts, and I was lucky to be included in that grouping. These are a series of videos that each creator made and sent to Sean, and he put it all together in this presentation. There are some wonderful creations, and it gives you a chance to meet some other creators that you may not be aware of. So if you want to have your own little private quilt show on YouTube, then do check out 30 creators show their favorite quilts on the guy who sews. And you'll find a link for that in the show notes as well. Okay, future projects. Well, there's an up-and-coming, well, to me, she's up-and-coming. I had not been aware of her until actually Stephanie put me on to this individual. Her name is Charisma, very interesting name, Charisma Horton. And while we were at the retreat, we had a takeaway table, and on the table were a couple of her patterns. I think they were patterns that had been given to Stephanie to give out as prizes and things like that. And Stephanie put a couple of them, or a few of them, on the takeaway table. So I saw two that grabbed my attention, and this is one of them that's going to be a future project. This week's future project is a pattern that I picked up at the quilting retreat I was recently at, and it is by a content creator and pattern designer named Charisma Horton, someone I've just very recently discovered. And this is a PDF pattern, but the aesthetic of this particular pattern, what caught my eye, was the very modern look to this. I think it would look very stunning in almost any color palette that suits your fancy. And I think you could have a lot of fun with some of the more modern quilting designs when you go to quilt it as well. Although you could quilt it almost in anything that you like, because there is a fair amount of negative space here that you could play around with. So if you want to get into a little bit of custom quilting, I think you could do that as well. So as I said, this is by Charisma Horton, and it's available on her website, and the link is in the show notes below. So I'm excited about getting on with that. Yeah, I got a whole pile of things already, and the year's just started to get to, but I will get to it eventually. I will get to it within this lifetime, and if I don't, well, it won't matter, will it? Oh, you have to think about what I just said a little bit. Okay, so what have I been working on? Well, nothing. Because I was trying to get myself Rented Lips, get all my stuff sorted out from the retreat. And you know what it's like. You come back from a retreat and you have bags of goodies and your sewing machine and everything piled up. So I was sorting all of that out. I was trying to figure out what projects I'm going to work on next. I've been working on the guild presentations. And yeah, I've been doing some 3D printing because if you saw my vlog yesterday, you know that I have ordered a new 3D printer, a really elaborate one. I'm excited about that. But when you bring something new into the house, you have to make room for it. So I'm doing some alterations in this room over where my lab is, this area, my lab, my farm, my print farm. Yeah, I'm going to change this around slightly, and that will be something on a future edition of my vlog that I'll be talking about. I don't get the new printer until the end of the month, or that's when they ship them out, so it may be more into February by the time I get it, but I want to be prepared for it. So when the baby comes home, it will have a new nursery for it. So yeah, so I've been busy doing stuff like that, and I got to get my projects in place for what I'm doing. Okay, so nothing really to show you on what I'm working on. I'm just looking here at my notes. Yeah, so this could be a long video today, and I don't want to make it overly long. So I'm not going to do an online quilt store review this week. I know, shocking. But what I'm going to show you instead is, well, one of my regular subscribers, someone who comes to all of the Wednesday sew days and pop-up sew days as well, and someone I like to call a friend because she is a friend. She lives in Kentucky. We were in Lexington, Kentucky, and she does not live far from where we were staying. So we decided to drop in on her for a little bit of time. And this person's name is Pat Jennings. Now you have seen some of her beautiful art quilts here on the channel. I have featured them before. And so we saw Pat. She happened to be home that day. And she invited us into her home. And we saw her beautiful creations up front and personal. And I have to say, video does not do justice to them. They're absolutely gorgeous works of art. So we had a pleasant hour or so with Pat, and while we were there, I basically did a tour. She took me around a tour in her house of her quilts and talked about them as well. So I have created a video of that, and that's what you're going to see right now. Enjoy.
About spirituality, and it says stillness, one path, truth, God is love, gratitude, oneness, prosperity, yeah, love, unification, realization. I studied all this for a couple of years, and I was really into, and that's when I made this while I was doing this 2-year study program. But anyway, I really like putting the writing in there.
They're beautiful.
Thank you. Now this piece was made for a women's feminist exhibit.
Right.
And it has the...
Oh, the little shoes.
Oh, wow.
And it shows, that just shows how women over the ages have to follow certain rules.
Yes. And they bound their feet, didn't they, when they were a child? So
that was finally outlawed, I believe, in the early 50s. Mm-hmm. Now this piece can be hung either way.
Oh.
And I had been looking for, you said something about finding something that would turn. Remember, you and Walter were thinking about talking about a mechanical thing. I would love it if I could put that up in the ceiling and then have a way for it to turn.
So you see both sides of it.
So that's an assignment for you. That's your assignment.
Well, you go on to Amazon and just look for turntables.
At first, I couldn't find a thing.
Yeah.
And I haven't looked recently. But I think the cool thing for me was I used metallic in the bottom and on the top. And look, the results.
And how much of your hair did you pull out working with
I did
metallic?
not. It was just like that. And
Wow.
I don't know if every machine can handle that, but I did not do 2 sets of, I didn't do 2 sets. I did 1 set of quilting. But no, that's one of my favorite things. And of course, this is the symbol of the Tao. Everybody knows that.
You know, there's these things you can get for Christmas trees. They're called spinners. They're little motorized things on batteries or that, and you hang them from the branch of your tree, and they put ornaments on it and spin around. If that isn't, I don't know how heavy that is.
I don't think it's too heavy. It
might be too heavy.
2 pounds.
Yeah.
I just need to give you another hug. It's so wonderful. You know, I feel like I've known you all my life.
Well, pretty much. That's what it feels like. Yeah, we see you.
Well, okay, I'm sorry, I'm standing in your way.
No, it's okay.
If you'll turn around,
Yeah.
a friend of mine had this old ladder, and she's fixing to throw it away. And I said, oh, no, you don't. And so I have I've lined paper under the on the rungs so they wouldn't bleed off on the quilts. And then I've hung, quilts on it. I'm looking for a better place in my house to put it. It's a little bit
But that's a good
rustic.
idea
Yeah,
to do it.
it is.
Actually, I've had my eye out too looking for an old ladder like that
A
to do
wooden
one.
ladder, and of course, painted it probably good, but I just cleaned it good, and
Yeah.
then I put the things down so it wouldn't bleed through.
Well, the natural wood is nice on it.
I think it is.
Yeah.
I think it is, but I would like, this is my form room, which
Yes.
of course never gets used, but except when
Except
you
for the
two
doggies.
guys, yeah, the dogs seem to like it, yeah.
Well, that was you or the doggy. Did I
No,
get
that
you?
was
I'm
that
sorry.
was her, and
sorry.
well, she'll get under your feet, and that's why I left the slip
Look
shot.
at they're so cute.
Now, everything in this room, I have
Yeah.
either painted or made.
I know.
I mean,
Look at this.
The art has either been painted or made.
Yeah.
And
This
I
one's-
am,
Oops.
Walter, you might like this. This is my rustic version of your old fancy system.
Well, you get more light in the wintertime than we
Well,
Yeah.
I decided, last year I wintered over 1 geranium. So I had more than that, so I'm trying it. And these pots that are just dirt, those are amaryllis. And that's one of my favorite flowers, and I have made quilts of amaryllis. And they will start, they've been out in the garage, kind of wintering over long enough, and you bring them in and you water them, and then these most amazing blooms happen. You don't have to do hardly anything
No.
to them. They're
Just
wonderful.
let go. Yeah.
They're
Now,
wonderful.
this piece on your table,
Yeah.
is that, that looks like silk.
It is. It's silk. And look, you can do both sides.
Oh, yeah.
And this came from a woman who traveled in Asia. But I think it's really
It is. It's very pretty.
beautiful. I love it. And one of my favorite colors is cobalt, and it's very difficult
To
color.
get. Yes, cobalt blue is very hard to get.
That and periwinkle is really hard to get.
And yet periwinkle was the color of last year by Pantone or 2 years ago?
I think so, but it's hard to get.
You're so
Okay,
cute
y'all,
little
look
things.
over my junk. I've got plenty. Oh, now there's 2 pieces down there that I don't know. I maybe showed them when I did an interview with you.
I think you did. Yeah, I remember them. But
Now this one on the right is absolutely probably my favorite piece I've ever done.
Very nice.
yeah,
It's called Tribal Spirits.
it is so nice. You know, in person, they're so much more dynamic. You
I
just
know.
can't capture them in
Well, of
the
course,
video.
I paint too, but I'll tell you, the quilts are the showstoppers. The painting
Oh, yeah.
is okay, but you know, quilt has so much more of a personality.
Now this one,
I just finished.
I was going to say,
Yeah,
that's
wow.
one you've been working on, right?
Uh-huh. I've been working on that thing since July, and I was so glad to say
That was
done.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh, I was so glad to get it.
I mean, and you did it in the string piecing, right?
Yes,
With it.
For me, that is one of the best little things I've ever come up with.
Yeah.
My friend over in Western Kentucky showed just a simple piece made this way. And I went, bing, and I decided, oh yeah, this could really be stunning. The first ones I made were just any old strip, and then you sew them together. Oh, so I mean, you thought you really planned it out, and you didn't
Yeah.
at all. Now this one,
This is more planned out, isn't it?
yes, I pulled all the colors that reminded me of fall. And
Yeah.
then I went to town. You know, I didn't plan them out after that, but I just used strips of scraps or, you know, whatever I had that, and I could cut into strips to make them be more fall-like. And I was hoping to have it done by the end of August. But that little thing took...
Yeah. And when you okay, you've done satin stitch all around the when you have a variety actually of different ones.
I almost used the blanket stitch, but I didn't like it.
Did you do that by machine or by hand?
Machine.
Oh, geez.
You did a good job.
Yeah.
Well, no, the blanket stitch just didn't show up the way I wanted it
Yeah.
to.
No.
The satin
And
stitch.
then
Yeah.
the quilting on the top and the other side, see, they're filled with ginkgos too, but you can't see them. No, this side. When you're looking
here.
at the one to the right and above,
What? Which are we talking? Which wood? This one.
has got ginkgo leaves quilted in it.
Oh yeah. Okay, I see them now.
Mm-hmm. See, I think, and I learned from a lot of older quilters, that the more you see, the better it is. Now, unless you get too carried away.
Yeah.
And see, I thought all the way around would be too much. And so, yeah.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah,
decided to
yeah.
do.
That's gorgeous. That is
Yeah,
really
it's
gorgeous.
beautiful.
Thank you. Well, that concludes the program. And this, you can go
Okay.
back down. And I made this for my book club, and it's called "Homage to the Lost Earring."
I remember you talking about this.
And each of them brought me the other one through the one they lost. I asked them not to bring me any silver or gold, just to bring me junk jewelry, because I didn't want that. But it was fun, and they all loved it.
You did Shasha Grove stitch.
Yes, I did. Now that's not necessarily shashiko. It's what it is. Some people in our country call it big stitch, but the true name of it is cantha. Yeah. Let me see. Let me turn this light on so we can get better light.
Now, what about this one?
I did not do that piece.
No.
I bought that piece at an auction, and we did a community painting on doors.
Oh, okay.
And when I saw a man who's got 8 children painted that, and I said, well, that's me, and I don't care how much it costs.
Oh, so it's the actual door. It's a
the actual
painted door. Yeah, I see. Because I see the
Yeah.
door
Yeah.
for the.
And why he did it, I don't know. But I mean, next time I talk with him, I'm going to ask him some more questions. You know, none of the planets seem to be round.
No, you're right.
Yeah.
And this is like a little creature, like a little dragon, because I love dragons. And then it's just there's little critters,
Yeah. Yeah, as you start looking at, then they all kind of pop out at
A
you.
little apple in there too.
Yeah.
Just one.
Just one.
Okay, come back this way. Oh, this is my sewing studio. Yeah.
Yeah.
So let me turn another bedroom, of course. And that is probably one of my favorites. My daughter-in-law, who I adore. I said, you go through this house and tell me what you think you might want to have at some point in time. And she picked it, and I was so grateful. She's the one I wanted to have it in.
Well, there you go, and it's beautiful.
Well,
All your pieces are beautiful.
I learned this technique from a quilter named Katie Pasquini. Massacus. Her husband passed now, and I'm so sad for her. But she is a delightful person. But what you do is you start out with your pattern, and as you can see, you make those little templates that work. Then you blow it up, and you get a mid-sized one. See, that's a mid-size. And then you blow it up further, and you get a really big one in the background. And that's what makes it so dynamic, I think.
And is that needle turned? Applique?
No.
It's raw edge?
It is satin stitch.
Oh, it is. Yes, it is.
I'm not crazy about satin stitch, but sometimes you just have
Yeah.
to do it, you know. Okay.
But still a lot of work, no matter
Oh,
what.
it was
But
so.
it's-
I just when you get in the groove and you know something's working, you just you love to work on it when it's going in a good direction. These dolls are characters from Gone with the Wind. And this book is Gone with the Wind.
Yeah.
And I know it's politically incorrect nowadays, but I do love the story, and I also feel like that it is a story about war-torn countries.
Yeah.
So I think it's got a bigger implication if you want to see that. Yeah.
I love Gone with the Wind.
I do
That's
too.
one of my favorite
you
books.
cannot help but love it. How can you not love that story?
And I've always loved the movie.
And the movie.
Yeah.
Oh my word, that Rhett Butler. My word. This is my little Rhett.
Your little Rhett.
See, he kind of looks like you,
Well.
Stephen, except he doesn't have.
Maybe in size.
Like that. And this is a recent quilt I finished this year, and I used, those little annoying things that some people sew them on.
Yeah, leaders and enders.
No, they sew them on freezer.
Yeah,
tape.
machine, adding machine tape.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I miss typeboard, and so I sew mine on newspaper that I've cut the size I want.
Oh, okay.
Great. It's a lot easier to pull off.
Then, yeah.
So that's what I did. And we are covered with dog toys. This is more of a storage room.
Right.
In here, this is my overflow. Mainly, you can go on in.
Okay, shop your stash.
You can.
Yeah.
Honey,
No.
you can. I've been trying my best to get it cleaned up in there.
No, I've got my own stash that
Well,
also.
you can't work unless you make a mess.
Yeah, that's right.
You cannot.
That's right. Ask Walter.
You cannot do it. Now in this room, this used to be where I did about everything. Watch TV, read, whatever. Well, when I sold my house in Florida, I got a new Florida room.
Yeah, I was going to say,
Now,
do you call
I
them
did
Florida
this-
rooms?
You've seen these pieces, I think.
Yes.
This is an amaryllis, like
Yeah.
the flower I was telling you about.
Yeah.
And this is called my grandmother's screen door.
Yeah,
That's nice too.
with the hexies.
Yeah.
Everything. Yeah.
Yes,
Beautiful.
my friend from who visited Ghana came back with these photographs. Oh, and I just love painting black skin. It was so cool. So I did those, and these have gone. All of these things have gone in the feminist show that I do. Well, we used to do it at the Berea College, which is a beautiful venue, but that we've been kicked off their schedule by people like Bell Hooks and Janice Ian. Do you all remember Janice? She wrote songs like When I Was 17.
Oh.
She wrote songs, a lot of them, and she's even written a book, and I'm going to read that book pretty soon. It's a bio. Come on down.
Oh, love your Eiffel Tower.
I work all over my house. Hey, there's nobody here but me and 3 dogs.
Yeah.
I love my Eiffel Tower. It's kind of wanting to do some weird things. But
Now, where did you get that?
I got it at Michael's on sale.
You're kidding.
And I love it. Oh, I've had this for 10 years for sure. And I store it in precarious places and ways. It's kind of hard to do. It does come apart, but who wants to take it
So
all
I was going to say, do you keep it up here all year?
I think I might this time. I just
Yeah,
love
it seems like a shame to put it away.
Yeah, and I've been working on my granddaughter's portrait. This is because of the lighting, I've just set up painting right here because it's so good to do. And I'm working like, instead of just doing one and thinking, That's my best shot. I'm doing 3.
Right.
And that way I will be able to choose, and I might want to get more intensely involved with doing things well with the paintbrush, because I'm okay with it, but I'm not really great with it. So,
Well, better than me.
and this is that piece that you've seen, and there's that rocking chair that I sat in when you interviewed me.
Right.
Remember, I was rocking away, and you said, "Stop it." Well, I
make a
was
C6.
nervous, you know.
Yeah.
So I just went on ahead and
This is such a nice space, though.
you all grab a chair. I'm gonna get us some ice water, and I'm dry as a bone myself, so I'm gonna get me some.
And look at the
Steve,
puppy.
before we
look at
shut
this.
up, before we quit,
Cool.
this is, I'm calling it Girly Girls.
That's nice.
That
I
is
was just
gorgeous.
looking at it. It looks really nice.
Well, you know what these are.
Yeah,
doilies,
they're doilies or pot holders, one or the other.
Who would use that for a pot holder?
Well, I know it's too nice.
Well, I've picked these up here and there. Now, these came from my mother's collection.
Yeah.
These two. But now, these things are things I've just picked up along the way,
Right.
here and there. Thrift stores or yard sales.
Now, is that tatting?
I cannot figure out what it is, and I asked some of my
That's a good
other.
question.
Yeah.
I don't think it's
I
crochet.
don't
It's
think
not
it
crochet.
is.
I don't
Let
think
me
it's
tell
crocheted.
you,
No.
because it is.
No, it's not crochet.
You see those? Excuse me. Do you see those little? They're like little strands
Yes.
or bits of things, and then all of them have been gone around. See, that one's been gone around too, loop to loop. And when I did when I put that on there, it gave me a chance to really get to know this piece, because I have put it on with invisible thread.
Yeah.
And then I did it before it was sandwiched. But I just love it. And my mother was a lover of fine lace doilies and all of that.
Right.
And so I've been thinking for years, I really need to commemorate that in a piece and use her work. This was one of her little bitty doilies right there.
I've got some of the handkerchiefs that my grandmother embroidered, and I've been saving them because I want to do something like this with them. I just haven't yet been inspired to.
Well, there are a lot of little patterns out there, because lots of people love to use their mothers, grandmothers, or whoever's fine handkerchiefs that are I don't reckon they're ever used anymore. You know, women used to carry them in their purses all the time. Well, you did this.
Oh, yeah.
And then you might lick that and then do it.
Okay, so that's it for me this week. Reminder again to pencil in Saturday, January the 18th for a pop-up sew day. And yeah, next week maybe I'll have more things to show you as well. But in the meantime, Happy New Year, as I've already said. Don't let January get you down. Okay, January is a depressing month, all right, for a lot of people. Don't let it get you down. Grab something to sew on, even as a small little project. Maybe you've got a work in progress or a UFO. Maybe this would be the time to pull it out and do it, so you have a sense of accomplishment going into the new year, feeling good about what you have achieved, because that's a good thing. So we'll see you later. Bye for now.